Happy Monday the 24th. I'm Mary Zimbrana, VISTA Coordinator to the Power of We Consortium. Today we'll be discussing the differences between AmeriCorps State and VISTA, a state and national program, both stemming from volunteer-oriented legislation and both serving to build capacity in our community organizations. But the focus and service duties widely vary. Emily Thompson joins us, the Consortium's AmeriCorps State Coordinator.
So the Power of We has an AmeriCorps State program in addition to the VISTA program. Our program is newer, so our members just started about 6 months ago in November and December. AmeriCorps State programs, instead of receiving their money directly from the federal agency, the CNCS, Corporation for National Community Service, we have our funding comes funneled through a state agency, and for every state that's different. In our case, it's the Michigan Community Service Commission. And then that state agency serves to oversee programs, to decide which programs get funding, and then to support those programs after they're funded. Our program has an environmental focus, whereas the AmeriCorps VISTA program has some other goal areas that you've already heard about. We have two goal areas. One is increasing access to healthy foods through sustainable food systems, community gardens. The goal area is to expand and improve trails, greenways, parks, and non-motorized transportation options. We chose those goal areas after a community dialogue through the Land Use and Health Resource team here at the Ingham County Health Department. We asked the community in 2007, what do you want to see in a physical environment to have your community be healthier for you, safer, happier? What do you want to see in your physical environment? And people said they wanted to have more community gardens, they wanted the parks and the major areas of business and commerce in the city to be better connected by bike paths. So from that our program was born, and we have members working on all of those. Members for AmeriCorps State have to do almost entirely direct service, 80% at least. And what that means is that they're hands-on in the community. So they are not only recruiting and coordinating volunteers, but they're actually modeling that service work for volunteers. So they work alongside volunteers during the volunteer work days. They do direct community engagement with educational programs, with door-to-door flyering to let people know about projects that are happening. But the distinguishing factor that makes something direct service is that it's hands-on. So, for example, one of our members is at the Ingham Family Center, which is a high school for youth in the court system, and she leads an after-school program for those youth, and they are putting in a garden. So she's with them through the planning of the garden stage. They get to plan the garden, they get to plant the garden, they get to harvest. They learn how to cook with those vegetables that they harvest. They get education on nutrition that she facilitates. And the food from that garden is then incorporated into meals in the cafeteria on site on campus. In addition to that, the students are also learning basic business skills because they are turning some of the vegetables into salsa that they're selling at a farmer's market right on campus. They're also learning how to raise chickens, and they're going to be selling those eggs. These kids, not some of them, being more inner city, have not ever been taught the link between the ground and plants and where food comes from and how it gets to the table. And so that basic lesson has been really interesting and fun to watch.
While I run the VISTA project, the consortium works with Volunteers in Service to America, or VISTA, and it's a federal program, but we're mainly based around the Ingham, Eaton, Clinton counties, the Tri-County area, Capital Region. So while an AmeriCorps State member may work on the direct service piece, and they may be farming nails or working with equipment, the VISTA members are doing more desk-type jobs. So they're creating the programming, they are doing the fundraising, they're creating volunteer trainings and then actually implementing them. Their main goal is to work on poverty alleviation. With the consortium as a sponsoring organization, we've chosen to focus on 4 main areas. We work on youth development, financial asset development, vulnerable population reentry, and neighborhood revitalization. And those are some fancy lingo, and what it comes down to though is that the VISTAs are really doing a lot of volunteer recruitment. They are trying to build an infrastructure of volunteers that is sustainable. They're trying to build capacity in the organization they're working at. They're trying to raise funds. They're trying to make it so that the members themselves don't become a relied on staff member. That's not their mission. So that when they leave at the end of their 1-year contract, it's not like a three-legged stool and then one of the rungs is kicked out, pretty much. So what does vulnerable population reentry mean? What does neighborhood revitalization mean? Vulnerable population reentry mainly works with like ex-offenders re-entering into society. How do they find job training skills? How do they find housing? Neighborhood revitalization focuses on making a community safer. It could be greening it. It could be making a sustainable food system. It could be bringing community members together. It could be building local businesses. Neighborhood revitalization really can cover quite a bit. We also work on youth development. For example, we work with an art studio, Reach Studio Art Center, and that's also a drop-in center down in Riotown. As far as financial asset development goes, typically we work with organizations that are trying to help people build or repair their credit, organizations that are working on helping families buy a home for the first time or qualifying for credits they maybe didn't know were available, like earned income tax credit. Over the last 3 years, the members just continually blow my mind. They are so impressive, and it's like coming in and hearing a feel-good story, only it's true, and it's something that they're doing full-time. They're, I mean, technically 24/7, VISTA, always on. That's kind of part of their slogan. I have been a VISTA member myself. I understand what it's like to live at the poverty level and going down and applying for a bridge card, using public transportation. It takes gumption, we'll say. And these people willingly sign up to understand community problems so that they are better equipped to solve them. For example, we have one member, Annalie Lucas, down at the Refugee Development Center. She has made a tremendous impact here. She has started a counseling circle where people from all over the world, so for example Somalis are sitting next to Bundy, to Afghani, all of these youth in a circle, and they're talking about how they got to be there. Maybe they went from a camp to St. Vincent Catholic Charities. They're trying to understand culturally where they fit in. They're trying to understand a language system, a transportation system, an educational system. Each week these youth sit around, and not only are they able to discuss some of their feelings and their stories, they're also able to practice English. Annalie has gotten together a social worker. She's gotten together Michigan State University interns. You know, people are giving their time for nothing, but the goodness of their hearts to do this. There's another young lady, Gina D. Allen, over at Northwest Initiative, who created a program, a letter writing program from youth to their incarcerated parents or family members. Statistics have shown that when a family member goes to prison, they lose contact with and are much less likely to nurture a close-knit relationship with their family members, with their children. Gina D's program gives them an avenue to not only practice their writing skills, but to keep in touch with their family members. And we have packets of copies of letters that have been sent, and the personal information, you know, has been whited out or crossed out, and these will bring you to tears. They're just precious. It's stories like that that make me want to come into work every day. I'm Mary Brennan, and as you can see, I enjoy my job. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you'll consider making service a part of your life too. Next Monday is Memorial Day, but join us on June 7th to meet our State Director, Mr. Evan Albert, our new summer associate members, and to get a taste of on-site orientation. See you then, and enjoy the holiday.